All right, here we go. Semifinal, Gold Cup, Guatemala, United States. Best case scenario, kind of, in a lot of ways, to have gotten them. I think, if you ask me, right, like, would have rather Guatemala than Canada. So should be rather straightforward. I mean, this is potentially as easy as the Saudi Arabia game in terms of the matchup. They did give Canada fits. I'm excited to see kind of how we match up with them. If Pochettino has learned, this is what the lineups look like on paper. We can obviously take a look at what they're going to look like not on paper and in the match. I don't know exactly how Guatemala will set up for this. My guess is that we're going to see them try and get in the pockets a little bit more and prevent us from doing what we want to do. The key here, I mean, this is our lineup in a base. The key is getting Adams between these two guys, right? We got to get Adams in between the two of them. Arson coming way up high. Berhalter and De La Torre kind of in that double pivot. This is probably what it'll look like, somewhat in possession, with Berhalter kind of popping wide as well. De La Torre more likely coming here and Berhalter dropping in here. But it'll be interesting to see how Guatemala comes up against us. I don't know. Ace, what are you thinking? Are you excited, nervous? Where do you land at this point? I'm a little surprised to see Berhalter still starting. I don't know about you guys.
Their Cinderella run, or will the U.S. take
him or De La
step
Torre
towards their 8th Gold Cup
would see the bench after
John Strong, Stu Holden
seeing
with the
our
call
issues. But
next.
You know what? That's not where we are. So it appears that we're going to see him again. Also, why can't the U.S. start a game on time? Yeah, I mean, he wasn't going to switch up Adjuming. I know everyone's calling for that, but this is the kind of player he wants. And Downs, I think, is having more of an impact because of how late into games that he's coming in. That's my personal opinion. But who knows a lot about how Guatemala sets up? I'm not 100% sure how Guatemala sets up. They have him setting up in a 4-3-3. I've seen that everywhere, but yeah, Mitchell, I'm definitely nervous. Like, it feels like Costa Rica, I could have seen that one happening. Like, Costa Rica's always been a well-drilled team. They've shown up in big tournaments. Like, I wasn't surprised to see them have as good of a match against us as they did. But I was surprised that it was a little bit of a struggle for us, for sure.
This city is one of the spiritual homelands of soccer in North America. But tonight it looks and sounds like Central America.
I haven't watched any Guatemala. Like, I've strictly been watching the U.S. in these matches. I don't know about you guys, but I've pretty much only watched the U.S. play in the Gold Cup. It's enough CONCACAF for me. I'll watch a little bit of Mexico here and there, but it's really
good call.
It's enough CONCACAF for me personally.
Pochettino in the United States. Matt Freese, as expected, keeping his place after that heroic performance against Costa Rica in the quarterfinals, where he made 3 saves in the shootout. Back 4, Max Armstead on that left-hand side, goal and assist. But you heard Mo talking about the defensive part of the game for him. That's going to be so important up against Oscar Santis.
Fox Sports has Berhalter playing as the 10 in our system. It's crazy how little they know about like how this team plays. I don't know if anyone was watching the pregame at all, but all they do is talk about, you need to put a tackle in and get the fans behind it. They don't make any kind of analysis of what they're watching. It's totally bizarre to me. Like, imagine any other sport where that would be the case. I mean, I guess you could say inside the NBA, those guys are just like jokers. But at least like they actually point things out that are interesting. Like, you come watch these broadcasts and it's like Stu Hogan's like, you got to put a tackle in, get the team behind you, go out and score a goal. Like, obviously. Isn't that obvious?
Got his first minutes in the tournament in the quarterfinal.
Where's the final, Mitchell? Because I know it's not on the East Coast, so I feel like I would have been more interested in potentially going.
Interesting to see how he
I feel like they didn't, with the Club World Cup here this summer, I feel like nobody knew where the Gold Cup matches were happening because the Club World Cup took like a lot of the best stadiums. Is that a crazy thing to say? That's kind of how I felt like this one.
You're going to see him very involved in the attack. Rubio Rubin up front, scored in the last 2 matches.
I'm streaming the broadcast off.
That equalizing goal. He's a threat, and he knows these U.S.
How about now? That's terrible news. Properties. Is the broadcast audio still coming through? Okay, sorry about that. I didn't even know I could do that. I'm not the most tech savvy. Like, as you can, anyone who's watched my things, I just pull up like a tactical board and move things around. And somebody left a great comment. It was like, I've never heard somebody say here more often, which was totally fair. I got to turn the AC down here in my office. It is hot as balls. All right, let's see how we set up here. Jonathan, how you feeling tonight? You feeling like we're going to win? We feeling like a dub tonight? Am I coming in hot on the mic a little? I could lower the mic a little. All right, let's see how we set up here. Wow, loud booing of Max Arfsten. There are that many Guatemala fans here? All right, let's see if Tyler Adams gets deep enough, right? Yep, already doing better than the first half. For those who didn't watch the breakdown of last match, Tyler Adams was so stuck ahead of these guys that they could not get wide. It is good to see Tyler Adams truly dropping in between here. Let's see how they're pressing. They're going to press in a 4-3-3. So their 9 is going to stick with Adams. Their 11 is going to stick on Richards and stop this ball coming in here. This is a big, big game for Max Arfsten because if he wants any chance of making a real impact when Anthony Robinson's around, he's going to have to show that he can play some defense because defensively he's been an absolute nightmare. An absolute nightmare. How are there more Guatemala fans than U.S. fans in St. Louis? Somebody explain to me how that's possible. This is crazy. This is such a... How many people are there in Guatemala? I mean, that may be a little like... Oh, you can see that screen. Let me do it on a different screen. Guatemala population. 18 million. That's pretty sizable, actually. I don't know which ones of those countries have like 5 million and which ones of them have like 20 million, but 18 million is a lot. Luna wins a header. I mean, Arfsten's going to get so high and wide, and when these two players get close to each other, that left-hand side is at its best. These two players getting close to each other is when this left-hand side is at its best. Anytime that Luna gets out here, we struggle to create. It's all about getting Luna tight in here and Ream out wide here to get this ball into this channel. Yeah, it's hard to totally hate on Arfsten because he's so important to the way we attack. I love John Tolkien. I hope John Tolkien gets to play a little bit more. Oh, yes, what a ball. 1-0. Unreal. Unreal. Unbelievable. Get in. Malik Tillman, that touch by Malik Tillman, like the man is just different gravy for the U.S. I love Christian Pulisic, and he's definitely the best player in our country's history, but Tillman has a certain technical quality that we have never had in this country from our pro team. There's no other way around it. He has a quality that is indescribable and unmatched in this side, even when the best players are here. There's a reason Leverkusen is paying big money for him to be Bayern Munich on their buyback clause. This is just so good. Everybody's onside. I mean, that goalie absolutely fumbled the bag there. The goalie absolutely fumbled the bag. He just took an easy shot to the chest and punched it right down to Luna. I mean, Guatemala's got to be losing their mind to give up a goal like that. Has to be losing their mind. Great finish from Luna. Really, really well done. That's where Luna's at his best. I've been saying it all summer. When Luna's out wide, he does nothing. When Luna is in and around the half spaces, he's deadly. He truly is. Imagine Pulisic in that role. Just imagine it, because that's where he's going to be. Huge, huge goal. And by the way, Alex Freeman, like the first 5 matches of the summer, Alex Freeman's basically asked to play as a right center back, right? This is where he's being asked to play, assuming this is McGlynn. Then the last 2 matches, he's being asked to play as a wide outside back. 20 years old, never played for his country before, and just unbelievable from him. Like, that was such a good pullback that he left to Tillman. Way out wide, Tillman's on the edge of the box. Beautiful pullback here. Absolutely beautiful pullback here to Tillman. Just so, so good. Mitchell, first you're not at the game in St. Louis when you could have been, and now you missed the goal. This is a disaster night for you, Mitchell. The clearest thing to me about the way that we're playing is that Ricardo Pepi will be the number 1 striker over Balogun, assuming that they both play the way that they played this past year, which is obviously a totally different assumption. I mean, Balogun's likely going to leave Monaco, so that'll really change a lot about him. But Pepi is such a more like-for-like player with Adjumang, and it seems to be a key way to the way he wants to play. They want to play everything to in the air and to feet to this number 9, and that's how Pepi plays. So Luna scored with his left foot back-to-back matches, right? The other goal was a left-footed. I know it was deflected like crazy, but 2 left-footed goals. Pretty great. So they're kind of pressing similarly in a 4-4-2. Adams is too high up now. Adams is getting too high up here. He's got to stay in between the center backs. Unless Richards is going to make that ball. Man, if Freeman could have held that run and Luna could have gotten his head up, he would have been in there. Now you've got Berhalter, so you've kind of swapped this. You've got Adams coming back into midfield and Berhalter coming wide, which I don't think makes much sense at all. Oh, Adjumang's tracking that down. Decent goal, Adam. Decent goal. Good goal is a strong word. Decent goal. Really nice touch by Tillman that turned into a deflected shot. What's up, Miguel? How we doing? Again, that's actually a part of Luna's game that he needs to get better at. It's the same thing with how he missed Freeman. When he receives on the half turn, he's so good at carrying, but he's not so good at getting that ball out from his feet ahead to players. Always a little heavy on the way to the pass, in my opinion. Always feels a little bit heavy on the way to the pass. Totally different press structure so far for the U.S. as well. Luna's the highest man up in the press. Yeah, awful keeping, Adam. Easy good shot right at his chest, and he parried it right down to Luna. Absolutely awful keeping. And bad defending. Like, that guy lost Luna from 2 yards behind him. And he was 3 yards behind the line, allowing Luna to be onside. A total disaster from Guatemala. But hey, that's what you get getting to play in CONCACAF. That's supposed to be how it is. All right, now Adams has dropped back in. But see, when they're pressing with these 2, right? This is how they're pressing. They're pressing with 2. Adams is here. Berhalter being here doesn't do a whole lot. This is the big issue we had in the first half of the last match. De La Torre's isolated here. The rest of the team's up here. So when Berhalter receives this ball out here, where is he going to go? 9's closing this lane. 11 has closed this lane. So he has to go over the top and long. There's no reason for Berhalter to be all the way out here. I really don't understand why we keep getting stuck in that. You have to get both of these guys either in here, or De La Torre pops here and Luna drops a little bit deeper, and you kind of get into this formation again. Tillman. Oh! Tillman needs one of those, man. Like, he deserves an unbelievable goal. Who would you add to this current team to win on Sunday versus Mexico? I would remove Berhalter or De La Torre and add McGlynn. I think he just fits the way we're trying to play way more. I'd probably remove De La Torre for McGlynn, in my opinion. Prime Dempsey, not even close. People don't realize, like American U.S. men's national team fans don't realize, like Clint Dempsey was so much better than Landon Donovan. Like, miles better. He has 50 Premier League goals, Clint Dempsey. That's a massive amount of goals to have in the Premier League, especially for the sides that he played for. Clint Dempsey was an incredible player. Landon Donovan couldn't lick his boots if he wanted to. Such an underrated player in the terms of like the effect that Clint Dempsey had. I'd say Pulisic's only barely even gotten past Dempsey's like total career. Like Clint Dempsey scored 50. He took Fulham to a Europa League final. I'm not sure, Jonathan. I mean, I think that Pochettino sees Berhalter as a little bit more defensive, so he can kind of help out on this side when Freeman is running back, versus McGlynn is not so defensive. But I think McGlynn deserves to play over De La Torre, but Pochettino has a hard-on for De La Torre. I don't know why. Berhalter, let that run to Freeman, man. That was not your ball to pick up. Totally stopped it. I like the way that Luna is rotating. Like we're actually kind of getting more into the formation that we did when Downs came on. No. Cardoso is about to move to Atletico Madrid. He's not going to be out of the World Cup roster. I can promise you that. Tanner Tessman right now looks like the odd man out, which is crazy to me because I think he is such a unique player. Oh, that ball from Richards is so good. That ball from Richards is so good. So you really got more of this going on, actually, in possession than what we used to have, which is that Tillman is hugging Adjumang, and Luna's kind of coming across both ways to kind of open up the space. So these guys are trying to follow Luna, and then you get that ball from Richards into Tillman's feet, which is really good. You get this ball, right? Because Freeman's out wide. Berhalter kind of keeps dropping, and this 6 is trying to run with Luna. And so when the 6 gets distracted, this ball is available all day into Tillman's feet, or Tillman or Adjumang, depending on what happens. Tillman's had a solid start to the match. Yeah, ace. Cardoso will definitely be in the side. Mostly, he's the best 6 we have if Adams doesn't play. And Adams, we know, has had injury issues and whatever. Cardoso I still think there's a place for Cardoso in this starting lineup against better sides. It's not going to be, I think it's going to be a midfield of Adams, Cardoso, and McKennie, I think will be the midfield. And then it'll be Tillman, Pulisic, Pepe up top. Of course, you have to keep in mind, Tillman's right wing, he's really right half space, and then one of the players is coming out wide to the right. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord, Diego Luna. So Diego Luna Summer, we've been waiting for this match where he can get on the ball in the half spaces and turn and run. That was tough. That was a goal right there. That was a goal to be had. Unbelievable. So good. Really, really good. And honestly, credit to Pochettino. He is totally identified against Guatemala that if you use Tillman to pin Adjumang, that Luna is going to run into tons of space. Luna's gotten onto the ball
Luna, he
an
recognizes
incredible
the
amount
space.
Already.
It's a man of the moment. He's feeling it.
12 of
Just
13
sizes up his
passing.
defender, and Herrera's got the
I want to see how many
overlapping
touches he
run
has. 17
of
touches
Arsene
of the
to
ball
help his
already
lane.
in
He says,
14
"Thank you very
minutes.
much." He's got
14
him
and
off
change.
balance, little step over,
That's
come inside.
absurd.
and then boom,
That is
back to the
absurd.
near post, as pure a strike
I
as
don't know
you
if
can see.
they have 17 touches of the ball
just
alone.
love the
Guatemala.
confidence
What a
of
finish.
Diego.
So good. I have game audio coming through again? How could that be possible? Again, still do I have? That's odd that it would be coming through at all. Sorry, I don't know why that's doing that. I wonder why it's coming through on the stats site. I wonder if the stats site has audio that I don't know about because I have it muted. Sorry, gents. Anyway, big goal. 2-0. Pile it on. Pile it on. We want Mexico to be scared of us. I mean, our record against Mexico recently, I'm really not worried about them. Yeah, that's fair, Ace. That's definitely fair. Nah, stream's in its own window, so that's a bit odd that it would be coming through. Uh-oh. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know how this team beat Canada because Canada doesn't like to play as much possession as we do, though. So if you don't let Canada get out on the counter, like I think they're not so good at breaking teams down. Whereas, I mean, we've basically identified exactly how to break them down, right? I mean, these two are coming high up trying to press, and when this ball gets out into Adams' feet or into Richard's feet, and they are trying to pin this, if we can switch it quickly through the middle and Luna can get into this half space, then they're just outmanned. No, we cannot just sit back on the ball here. We need to get a third goal. Because you know we're going to give up some stupid goal where Arsene completely loses his man. You can promise you that. We're not keeping a clean sheet. I do wonder if Diego Luna is just a lifelong MLS player. Like, that does feel like his level. He's a little inconsistent. I could be wrong, but it feels like that. Now we're tucking back into what we were doing before. Tillman's coming a little bit deeper. Look how deep Tillman's coming. Yeah, see, this line of four is just way too slow to react. They're getting absolutely roasted when this ball gets into the middle. These two are trying to keep the ball from the middle, but the second that this ball comes into Adams and to De La Torre, these guys are just totally outmanned by the amount of players here. They're unable. You're getting three in between these three pockets, and every time they're chasing. They're chasing every single time. Yeah, I just don't think... Oh, Jesus, Berhalter. What was that? I don't think that MLS players see Belgium as a step up. I really don't. I think that they'd rather play in the MLS. That's my honest-to-God belief. Like, I don't see Diego Luna going to play in Belgium. He's not going to do that. For some reason, MLS players are so scared of that idea to go to the championship. To me, I agree. That's a great step up. You go play for a team that has a chance at promotion, get promoted. That's your best chance of playing in the Premier League, right? Like, even if you kill it in the championship, those bottom half teams in the Premier League love to buy from the championship. He missed anyway. He missed anyway. How do you miss from there? Oh, he is so brutal to watch, man. I mean, Ajimang didn't even just miss that. He missed that by like 2 yards. That St. Louis Stadium looks pretty good, Mitchell. I assume you've been. It looks pretty awesome. Yeah, but even the Bundesliga too, Adam, like that's a good look at Damian Downs. He's going to go to Southampton now. To me, that's just such a good pathway. Playing in the MLS, you're not going to be able to immediately take the step up. What MLS player has immediately taken the step up to a top league team and done well? Has any ever done that? I cannot think of a single one. The Eredivisie is great as well, but I don't know that they're usually developing their own talent, most of those clubs. Like, they're not going to go spend the money that an MLS club is willing to sell. I think the Championship is a really solid move. I haven't seen the Portuguese league work really well, but also the Serie A. Like, the bottom half of the Serie A has become a very developmental place. Like, Parma, Bologna, Como, like all of those clubs. No, I don't think we'll see the last of Adjumang until he'll get a camp as the third striker behind Pepe and Balogun, but I do not think there's any last licks for Adjumang this summer. Hey, so you being sarcastic or you're a big Adjumang person? Those Guatemala fans are not nearly as loud as they were in the first 5 minutes, huh? I mean, this is the issue with the World Cup being here. Like, the whole outside pitch part of the grass is bouncing differently than the middle third. So the ball bounces on Freeman, and then he doesn't know what to do. It's ridiculous. Watch this ball. See that? It hit the line and bounced in the air. Like, are we going to have this at the World Cup? That's just ridiculous. It's high school level. Is that always how this pitch is, Mitchell? Like this, there's this little strip like this? Look at the pitch. It looks ridiculous. Why is there this strip of grass like that? They have to make it wider for CONCACAF or something? They must have to make it wider for CONCACAF. Also, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but every time that we get out of this setup, so when Adams comes here, and then you're going into like a 2-3-4-1, every time we've gone into this, we've lost the ball in a dangerous area. Because Berhalter or Freeman, whoever it's been, has come wide, and we've lost the ball in this wide area because of the way the pitch is. So why don't we just stick to what's working? So unnecessary, Adams. Such a silly foul. There's no reason to make a foul there. He's not facing the goal. So you're telling me St. Louis built this pitch and it's not a wide enough pitch? Did the MLS have different standards than CONCACAF? Like, why does the MLS just make so many mistakes that make them such a joke? It's bizarre. MLS has small pitches. They got a lot of issues, don't they? All right, Adjumang. Win yourself a little free kick action. This, I will say, Berhalter has been very, very good off set pieces. I partially think that he's staying in the 11 because of how good he's been off set pieces. He has great pace and power on those balls. Really good. Yeah, I imagine back then, Mitchell, but isn't this St. Louis Stadium like kind of new? They wouldn't have built it to be the right width? That feels pretty insane. This feels like a goal. I have to say, this feels like a Chris Richards goal to me. Terrible ball. Arson actually got back. Built in 2023. They knew we had a 2026 World Cup, and they didn't build a wide enough pitch. That's fascinating. That's fascinating. That feels like a huge mistake, if you ask me. That feels like a huge mistake. We've gotten way too much into our shell here in the last 10 minutes. There's no reason to let Guatemala have this much of the ball. Absolutely no reason. When's the last time Luca De La Torre even got onto the ball? Our midfielders are shying away from any responsibility right now. This should just be dominant. There's no reason for this to get close. It's just ridiculous. Why all of a sudden in the last 10 minutes we can't get on the ball? Our midfielders are hiding from the ball. Berhalter's hiding behind number 9 here. De La Torre's just standing in the same zone as Adams. There's no ball here to play because the second this ball comes in, it's coming back. Let's get back into the ball into the half spaces into Tillman. Again, why are we dropping into this situation where we're going into this weird 3 here? Like Richards and Ream are getting super narrow. Adams is playing as a true lone 6. And then Luca De La Torre is just clogging the spaces. I don't understand this at all. I don't understand this one bit. Everything has come from Ream and Richards being in wide spaces. Everything good, this entire camp has come from that. Now we're completely getting away from it. Berhalter's playing a makeshift right back spot. Luca De La Torre is hiding behind the line. We're playing like a team scared. He's way off, Adjamang. I don't understand why we're getting into this situation with the 2 narrow center backs, Berhalter popping out here, Arfsen's hugging here, then De La Torre is just running in between Luna and Arfsen with nowhere to be of any help. This is a disaster. Why are we getting away from what works? Ream and Richards need to be wide. Adams needs to be here. It's pretty simple. It's worked over and over again for us. This is what it needs to be. We're letting the Guatemalan fans get back into it. Look how deep our line has gotten all of a sudden. He's well off. No way. He's way off. He is way, way off. Dude, if Arfsen keeps him onside here, I'm going to lose my mind. We completely are hiding from this game. Why did our line get so deep? No, he's way off. Why did our line get so deep? Why all of a sudden defensively have we dropped into a line that's on our own? Why are we dropping here? There's no pressure in the front 3. We're dropping into a 4-3-3 pressing structure. Why are we getting so deep like this? And then going long off of every single goal kick. What is going on? I just don't even understand. We open with an incredible opening 15 minutes, and then we just start hiding? We're playing at home to Guatemala. Dominate the ball. Look at where our line is. Look how deep our line is. Look where Chris Richards is standing. Tillman, frustration foul, which he does. I would say that's the one thing about Tillman. All right, during this hydration break, do you get the audio right? Oh, here we go. Wrong one. There you go. Now it should be good. Right? I mean, I just got to see. Luca De La Torre. Have you done anything? No. That shot that was deflected for a goal, I guess we can count that as something. Yeah, Berhalter defensively has been solid, but no final third entries for Tim Ream. Only 2 for Chris Richards. Everything has come from the two of them passing the ball into the final third, into the half spaces. Yet, in this match, Tim Ream has 0. Tim Ream has been such a key in that. Let's look at his game against Costa Rica. 7 passes into the final third against Costa Rica. 11 passes into the final third against Haiti. 15 passes into the final third against Saudi Arabia. 0 so far through 30 minutes against Guatemala. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't understand why we get away from what works. I just don't understand why we get away from what works. Tim Ream needs to be wide and high. Richards needs to be wide and high, and Adams is going to be the deepest one in this buildup. That is how it works. It's how it's worked all camp. Even against better teams, that's how it's worked. So why are we getting away from that? Against Guatemala. Tillman, and it's not even close. Reyna's one of those players who, like, a couple of moments that really launched him in terms of the public eye. But he's 22 and he hasn't played a good minute of football in 2 years. I feel like we all overhyped him a little bit because we hated Greg Berhalter so much for not playing him that we forgot who the player was himself. Great tackle by Sebastian Berhalter. That's his 5th ground to 1 already in this match. De La Torre is playing in a much more advanced role today. For God knows what reason. And here we go. Yeah, I don't think Gio would have benefited because he would have sat behind Tillman and Luna and then cried like a baby, to be honest. He would be fine in this Luna position, but he's not a runner. This player is a runner who's going to play on this left half space. So it's a Pulisic, it's a Luna. I mean, that's really the only 2 key profiles we have there. But I don't think Reyna works there. I mean, he kind of works in this right half space, but I don't know that he can do the kind of second striker role that Tillman does. That's a big save by Matt Freese. Let's see if he's on. Yeah, he's on. I mean, Tim Ream's got a 2-yard step on him when this ball is played, and he still gets beat. All right, that's decent. That's decent goalkeeping from Freese. I like the chase from both of these guys. Adams and Tillman made the same chase there, though. Gets it completely wrong, but gets away with it. Matt Freese gets it completely wrong, but gets away with it. That's a panic decision there by Freese after not coming out the last time. This team is just totally hiding away at this moment. I'd probably go Cardoso for Luka at halftime. You need to get a double pivot in here. Yeah, we're looking sloppy because Luka De La Torre doesn't know where to be. Luka De La Torre gets getting way up here, and anytime he receives here, he has no idea what to do with the ball. What happened to Luna making the runs across the pitch, dragging this 6 with him? These guys here were running together. Yeah, Leonard Maloney just did not have as good a year this year as he did last year, which is just too bad because he would have gotten into this side, I would imagine, had he had a good year this year. We are totally scared and nervous with a 2-goal lead for no reason whatsoever. Totally scared and nervous. Cannot give up a goal going into halftime. Then you get Luca De La Torre off for Johnny, and you work from there. That's a good ball. Jeez, Louis. That's a good ball. Yeah, we can't play the next 60 minutes like this, Sam. I mean, absolutely can't play the next 60 minutes like this. Yeah, he had a decent start to the year. I know that just in general that they didn't have as good of a year as they did prior, and he battled with some injuries and stuff. I know he was right on the... Did he make a squad in October, or he was right on the edge of making a squad, or he made a squad and then got injured and didn't get into the squad? But I know he didn't have nearly as good a year as he had last year. I was talking to somebody who watches him every week. Yeah, this Berhalter and Freeman side isn't doing well offensively or defensively. You got to pull either De La Torre or Berhalter for Cardoso here in the second half. This right wing is wide open if they want to play the ball. Malik Tillman just like having... I feel like he just was not ready for CONCACAF in terms of how stupidly physical it is for no reason whatsoever. Like guys just dragging you down to the ground for literally no reason whatsoever. It's not much there. I mean, I'd like to see us try and play the ball to feet a little bit more. I mean, that's the kind of goal we would give up. Oh, sir. I mean, we're not utilizing our players in any way the way that they need to be utilized. When's the last time Max Arfson got on the ball up here in the left wing? He's playing completely defensively. If we're going to play like this, you might as well put Tolkien on. Like, Max Arfson's been non-factor in this match. Adams, get deeper into the field here. Adams needs to get deep. There you go, Tyler. There you go. See how it happens when Ream gets high and wide? Arfson's able to get on the ball. Where is Luca De La Torre going? Why does Luca De La Torre keep running with the 6, like as if he's marking him? If the 6 is running this way, De La Torre needs to pop into the space. He has just no understanding. Oh my God, Matt Freeze. This has gotten out of hand. This has gotten out of hand quickly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Matt Freeze is doing, letting that ball bounce 4 times. You can sense a goal. At this point, not giving up a goal going into half feels like scoring a goal. We're getting lucky. They've put in some terrible corner kicks. Noah was a good guy. Well, because Adams keeps getting way too high up the pitch, and then these center backs, Isaac, have to come in way too narrow. They can't do anything when they're this narrow. There's nothing to do. All you're doing is playing the ball out to Berhalter wide here, and then it dies going in over the top, or Freeze is just playing long. Adams has to drop in between the two of them. Adams sprint into the space. Oh, man. Play it, Ajimang. Play it! The technical skill of Ajimang is it's like watching kids on a playground. Why does he play that with his right foot across his body when he can just lay it off to him slowly with his left? It's actually ridiculous. Stu also, I don't mean to just like be ripping on Stu Holden, but Stu Holden comes in with like, these are the players he likes, these are the players he doesn't like, and he just defends any action that a player he likes has. Like, I've never heard him say a bad word about Patrick Ajimang. Never heard him say one bad word about him. It's crazy. Like, I don't know who's paying him or what, but it's crazy. He legitimately just said that wasn't Ajimang's fault. He also loves Sebastian Berhalter. Loves. And he loves Luca de la Torre. Can we see the setup? Like, who needs to see this? Oh my God. CONCACAF is so boring. Like, CONCACAF knows how to make a semifinal boring. It really does. Yaya Sanogo is way better than Patrick Ajimang. Yeah, Sanogo is so clear. Yaya Sanogo had a moment in time. He did. Show the setup. You don't need to show Chris Richards putting his hand on a little guy. Like, I want to see the set piece setup. That's not a foul, man. No, Sam, I really don't understand. Like, I don't know if you listened to the pregame, but like, they literally they say the same thing every pregame. They go, you got to get a good tackle in, and then you'll get the game, and you'll get the goal, and you'll win. Like, nobody talks about how the team's setting up, how the team's played, who's off the bench, different, in possession, out of possession. There's just nobody talking about anything real. They talk to the lowest common denominator to a point where it's like, you have to realize people who are actually watching this match on a summer night on July 4th weekend are not the lowest common denominator. You're getting people who are going out of their way to watch the match. They want actual analysis. Oh, my Lord. Get it out. Out. Clear. Long. Oh, my Lanta. All right, Matt Freese. Couple of good moments so far in this match for Matt Freese. Some really bad ones. But, I don't know. Should he have held that? That seemed like it was from pretty close. Well, that guy's well off. So, any action after this wouldn't even matter. I don't know. That's not so easy to hold. That's a hard header down into the ground. That's a well-taken header. I don't blame Matt Freese for that. You think that was Matt Freese's fault, Mitchell? You think he should have held that? I think that's a hard one off the bounce. All right. I think that's, it's definitely subjective. Pochettino's going to be losing his mind at halftime at the way that this team is playing in possession. Oh, boy, Freeze. I thought that went through Freeze's hands for a second. He's a little shaky. Stu Holden doesn't know how advantage works. He thought that the ref would have to stop play to give him a yellow card. I mean, unbelievable. Way better than Turner. Matt Turner's career is over, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he just moved to Lyon, who are relegated to League Two, and he may not even be the first choice keeper for them. You got to get to halftime and you got to put Cardoso on. You got to get some control in midfield, and he's a controller. You may even take Adams off, to be honest. He has not had a good match at all. I think both Adams and Richards are getting yellow cards, potentially. What's a little bit of a nutmeg, Stu Holden? I don't know what a little bit of a nutmeg is. I guess you guys probably aren't listening to the announcers. Carry the ball. Keep carrying until someone makes you give it up. Why slow down? Adams, if you don't drop him between the center backs, I'm going to lose my mind. Max Arfson is useless over here. Useless. Absolutely useless. I mean, this is crazy. This is exactly what happened in the last match in the first half, other than the fact that we got 2 early goals in this match. Just a total abandonment of the philosophy of how we're trying to play. A complete abandonment of the philosophy that has worked up until this point. I mean, you realize we score an early goal off of horrific goalkeeping. And then a bit of individual brilliance scored the second. Like, we're playing so deep like this. What is Max Arfson doing as a part of the back three? It's a completely useless place for him to be. Look at him. He doesn't know what to do. You're playing a wing back. They're basically playing like this at this point. Yeah, because honestly, Ace, I'm not a Max Arfson defender, but he's being asked to play completely in the wrong position. He's playing in the left center back role of this back three. It's totally absurd. Like, this is how disorganized this team is right now. Luca Del Torre is kind of way up here. You're basically playing in a 3-3-3-1 with no width or anything. All right, halftime. What a disaster of a first half, even though we're up 2-0. This tournament was never about results. This was always about... Does Luna start at the World Cup for me, Casey? Nice to see you, Casey. Probably not. He doesn't start, but he's definitely the perfect power sub for this side because he can come in the right half space or the left half space. I don't think he starts at this moment, no. I would say he probably doesn't start. I would say my starting 11 is for the World Cup, if this will load. No, it's not letting me. I don't think he starts at the World Cup, no. Disaster, though. Truly a disaster of a first half. Yeah, Casey, you want to pop on? Could zoom you in. Let's look at the horrible statistics of this team in the first half. Max Arfson, 18 of 24 passing. Pretty much nothing of interest. Not a concern at all, brother. Feel free to watch this naked as much as you want. 1 pass into the final third for Tim Ream. 1 pass. And that wasn't even a completed pass. That was that ball in over the top that went to nobody. I mean, Tim Ream's been attempting 89, 90 passes a match, right? Not just the pass into the final third, just the amount he's even getting on the ball. 71 passes against Costa Rica. 114 passes against Haiti. 92 passes against Saudi Arabia. He's on pace for 54 passes in this match. 48 passes. How does math work? He's on pace for 48 passes in this match. That's the biggest difference. We're not getting our center backs high and wide. We're getting Max Arfson high and wide here, which does nothing because he's a ball carrier who needs to play the ball on his right foot. This needs to be Tim Ream out high and wide every single time. It's crazy. I don't know why we got away from this. This has been working. It worked in the first 10 minutes because Tillman was tucking in with Ajimang and Luna was running in behind these 6 and 8 all day, and they were losing him every single time. Literally absurd. Our striker has completed 7 passes in a match. We're up 2-0. 7 passes. Luca De La Torre, who's potentially in the most important role in this system, if you haven't watched my breakdowns, but potentially the most important role in this system. 13 passes he's attempted. 1 pass into the final third. Luca De La Torre has attempted 1 pass into the final third, playing as a left 8. Fascinating. Hasn't won a duel, hasn't gotten a tackle, hasn't gotten an interception. He's done nothing. Even Tyler Adams, man. Like I need to see more from Tyler Adams in a match like this. I found that he was completely shying away from any responsibility in this match. He kept, right, the ball, these guys got super narrow. The ball would come to Richards. The 9 would force this ball this way. Adams hanging out here. Freeman's dropping in. Berhalter's trying to come into this space. The 9 covers this. It comes back to Richards. There was just nothing. Adams needs to drop in here so Ream can get out here. Then when this ball is at Richards and it comes back to Adams, the 10 has to come this way, comes to Ream. Everything has to push up, and then you can get Luna into this space. It's very simple. Larger takeaways are exactly what you and I used to talk about, which is Malik Tillman is the number 10. There's no doubt about that. His ability to get on the ball in the middle of the park in the final third has been a complete game changer to the way that we've ever been able to play. He can carry the ball. He's a physical monster. His athleticism, he bounces off players. Even when he's not scoring and assisting, he's seemingly always making things happen. He's popping up with an assist in every single match, even though, you don't think about that Luna goal that was a Malik Tillman assist, but every single match there seems to be a moment where Malik Tillman is doing that. I mentioned earlier in the stream when you weren't here, Casey, Ricardo Pepi is going to be the striker based off of how we're playing. He wants a target man, number 9. He wants somebody who can receive the ball well, coming into feet, coming into chest, into his head, who can make runs into the channels, who can pin defenders. It's not going to be Balogun. And I'm okay with that if it means we're going to play like this. If it means that the ball is constantly going to be played into the feet of the number 9 and back into the feet of Tillman and assuming Luna is Pulisic, I'm okay with that. This triangle to me is what's going to define if we can create any goal-scoring opportunities. And then you have the likes of Anthony Robinson as an outlet further wide who can swing in crosses. We've seen good opportunity come from that. You'll probably have Yunus Musa in this kind of right mid, right back, right midfield position. And you'll probably have the help of Serginho Dest tucking in here next to whether it be Adams or Cardoso or whatever. So I think this system is, perfectly set up for the profiles that we have, especially with the way that Pochettino has used the left-hand side as the kind of more attacking side and the right-hand side as the more creative side. So I don't think it really allows itself for any kind of true wingers. But if you think about the Tottenham days, there weren't really true wingers, right? You had Dele Alli playing as a second striker. That's our Tillman. You had a target man striker like Kane who could create plays in the second phase and score in the final third. That's Ricardo Pepi. You had, an Eriksen type who wants to receive on the half turn, who can create. I mean, that's how Pulisic has kind of become at AC Milan. So and then of course the attacking wingbacks of Serginho Dest and an Anthony Robinson. It's all lining up the way that we want it to line up. But I'm then getting worried about this match and the last match where all of a sudden we're kind of getting away from building the ball up in the first third, getting scared of losing possession in the first third. All of this only works if we're willing to play the ball around in dangerous areas to shift them further up the pitch, right? We need to make sure that they are coming up higher up the pitch and trying to attack us, and then you get these two guys open in the half spaces to turn and run. That's what Pochettino's system's always been built around. It was Ali and Christian Eriksen for Tottenham. It was Cole Palmer for that year at Chelsea, right? Like, those are the ways that he's always created opportunity, is by, you're going to give up some goals, some bad goals, but you're going to ideally create opportunities for your best player to get on the ball in their areas where they are at their best. And to me, Tillman and Pulisic in the right and left half spaces that's going to be money. It's just a matter of figuring out how to get the ball from here on the ground to here. And it seems like if we can have wide center backs, then we're going to be fine. That's really what I've learned from this Gold Cup. And even against Switzerland and Turkey, Switzerland was a disaster, but Turkey, I thought we learned a lot about this team. Tanner Tessman has lost his spot to me. I don't know where he fits in here, right? Unless you're telling me that this is going to be Tanner Tessman who's going to drop in between the center backs, I don't know how Tanner Tessman has a spot. I think Max Arvston is probably the backup to Anthony Robinson right now. He is the most like-for-like player who can keep high and wide. It may be John Tolkien, but I think like the likes of Trusty, the likes of Christopher Lund, players who were kind of the only options we had at left back, have no chance now. Caleb Wiley, I'd be shocked, unless any of them have a massive season in Europe, I'd be shocked to see them in the side. And then I think Alex Freeman. I don't know how much you've watched, Casey, but Alex Freeman has been a revelation at right back. And I wouldn't be surprised if we bring 9 defenders and he's the 9th defender. I don't know what the Joe Scally situation might be. It depends on how he plays this year as well. But he's made big strides. And I don't know. It's hard to say what the deal is with like Sebastian Berhalter, Jack McGlynn. A big year for them ahead when it felt like they had no chance of making the squad. I'd say they're probably both borderline. So it's been a big summer for the MLS players. Like I think a lot of them have shown a different level. To me, De La Torre hopefully doesn't make the squad at all, even though he's been a big part of this Gold Cup. I just think he doesn't have the tools. And also, I think that Weston McKennie has become a nailed-on starter for me the way that we're playing. That's not a question for me, Sam. That's a question for Casey. You think we can put this away? Do people feel like we could put this away? I feel scared that they're going to come out and score a goal. You don't see it with Freeman. I don't understand. What don't you like about Freeman? I've heard mixed reviews from people. I think he's been really solid. This is a 20-year-old who never played for his country before, being asked to play many different roles. Hasn't really put a foot wrong. I mean, I guess he hasn't been amazing in some matches, but he's been very consistent, and he's done what he's been asked for. I think he's well more comfortable as this role, which I think is an important differentiation that could happen if, an Anthony Robinson or something isn't available and you want to go ream at left back, for lack of a better term. It's not really left back because this is where he's located, but left back, and you kind of go with a more true left winger out wide with 2 players in the half spaces. I think Freeman's a really good option here. It's probably Joe Scally right now who's the backup right back, but I don't see why you wouldn't like Freeman. At this moment, I was saying before, I think Adjamang probably makes it into the next squad, right? That's September. We play South Korea and Japan, I want to say. Does that sound right? Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say Adjamang makes it in alongside Pepe and Balogun. But if Damian Downs is lighting it up for Southampton, and he's played great in this tournament, penalty kick aside, I think Damian Downs has been excellent in this tournament in his limited minutes. I think it'll be hard for Adjamang to get into the squad. Josh Sargent will also push for it again. As much as I don't like Josh Sargent, I don't want to see Josh Sargent. We know Josh Sargent will push for that spot again. So there's a lot of options. I agree, Mitchell. I just think oftentimes when you look at international squads for tournaments, you see managers go for more like-for-like types of players because, if Anthony was to have a serious injury and be out for a serious period of time, you don't necessarily want to change the way your team's going to play. So to me, I think that Pochettino sees Arvsson as the more like-for-like player, but Tolkien has gotten a lot better offensively, and it's a big season for him ahead, right? He's staying in the Bundesliga, so I believe it'll be an opportunity for Tolkien and Arvsson to both push for that position. And Caleb Wiley. If Caleb Wiley secures a good loan, he was good for Watford second half of the year, I could see him pushing for that spot as well. He's a little bit better defensively than Arvston and also likes to get forward. So there are some other options there, but someone like Christopher Lund, I think, now has no chance in the squad. I don't think the third striker is going to play at all, right? I mean, if Pepe and Balogun are both healthy, the third striker theoretically shouldn't see a minute. I mean, think about England, right? Like all those years they brought Watkins, Tony, and Kane or whatever the third one was going to be. The third one almost never plays. You're grasping at straws if the third one gets on the pitch. For some reason, Pochettino doesn't see Haji as a striker, which I mean, he's like an inside forward in a lot of ways. I would bring Haji over Brian White. I would bring Damian Downs. Damian Downs has been spectacular. He's played well as a second striker. He's played well as a sole striker. Took a gutsy penalty. I like Damian Downs a lot. Yeah, he's so much worse than Anthony Robinson, Mitchell, but in terms of profiling, you're talking about a similar type of player, a guy who likes to get high and wide, who likes to carry, who likes to get to the byline and use his left foot to cross. You're talking about a similar profile, whereas Tolkien likes to play a little bit deeper. His starting position's a little bit deeper. He likes to, be in this area more. I like Tolkien better too. I'm just telling you like what my honest opinion is that's going to happen. If it was me, I would bring Tolkien over Arfson. T. Riddler, I agree. I don't want Adjuming. I'm not even saying that I think it will be Adjuming. I actually don't think it will be Adjuming. What I'm saying is he's played every single match of this tournament. It looks like we're going to make the finals of this tournament. I believe he will be in the September squad. And depending on how he looks and how he trains and how the rest of his season goes in Charlotte, that will depend on how he does going into the World Cup. If Damian Downs goes to Southampton and scores 20 goals in the championship, I promise you Adjuming won't make the squad. So there's a lot of moving parts here. Like there's so many like edge positions here where we're not sure, who are going to be the last people. Yeah, Jake. The game has been very sloppy. We really got that lead and then got too scared to play the ball around in our own half, and that just puts us behind the 8 ball. We've seen it for years in the sport. People think playing long will actually relieve pressure. It brings on pressure. You need to hold possession and dominate. The defense has been shaky because the ball keeps coming back at them immediately, and we're not in any position to defend because we're trying to go long, and where the ball is coming directly back. We're not winning any second balls, and then you only have 6 players defending 6 players rather than having your whole team back. If you're playing in possession, your team's at least back in a defensive shape when you lose the ball, which is not what's happening right now. Realistic expectations, Casey? No, I think, if anything, my expectations that I felt were realistic feel more achievable, which is we need to get out of the group stage and then hopefully get a good draw with a team we can beat and win a knockout match. Right now, I would feel comfortable as long as we're not in the group of death to get out of the group stage. I think we can handle these lesser teams. We've shown that we can have a tactical identity, which we never had under Berhalter. And when we have a tactical identity, better teams win. That's often the biggest difference between better teams. Like, think about the issues Manchester United has had in the last years. They haven't had a tactical identity of what they're doing. That's why they haven't been able to control matches and beat worse teams. We have been able to control matches and beat worse teams because we've created a tactical identity that we're playing by. So to me, if we get a decent enough group, getting out of the group stage shouldn't be an issue. Then you hope you don't get a Spain, France, Germany, England, or Portugal, and you win a knockout match. That expectation feels the same to me. At this moment, I'm not reaching higher than that. But let's see what happens when we have the full squad. It's hard. We have a tactical identity with this team. That may change in September if Pulisic, McKennie, Robinson, and the likes and Dest get into the team. I don't know, Jake. We've kind of had Mexico's number recently, even when we're not at our best. I'm not too worried about Mexico. Mitchell, I was never going to judge this tournament based off of winning or losing. The key to this tournament to me was a manager who has had his opportunities, has not shown any tactical identity. We have now, even from the very first match against Turkey, we have started to create something that is a blueprint for success. It's wide center backs. It's our best players in the half spaces who can turn and run. And it's a striker who you can play the ball into his feet and play off of. That is our identity right now. That to me is everything I need to know. That when you have the best players that we have from this country, this will be more enjoyable to watch, and we'll be able to actually go up against better teams and try things. Try to get in possession. Try to make a difference. If we win this tournament, great. We should win this tournament. We're the best team. But to me, the most important thing that came out of this tournament was that going into the next year, when the best players from our country are in the squad, is there something that at tough times we can turn to and say, this is what we do? I feel like we have started to create that. Let's see how the rest of this half goes. The second half of that first half, we didn't do that. So that scares me. Switzerland, no. You always underrated Switzerland, Casey. Switzerland's a top 10 team in the world. We are not going to ever be a favorite against Switzerland. They are very, very strong. Croatia, Ecuador, Colombia, I would feel like, yes, that's a good draw. We've got a chance of beating them. I would feel comfortable that with this tactical identity, we could bring it to them. That would be my feeling. Switzerland is a lot better than the rest of those teams you just named. I'm sorry. It is. Croatia's kind of aged out a little bit of their heyday. I think they're in a bit of a transitional. 2030, they'll probably have a good World Cup team because they have some really good young defenders. Not even just Gabardio. They have a bunch of other strong young attackers and defenders. But I don't feel like we'd be favorites against any of those teams necessarily, or strong favorites. Ecuador and Colombia, we'd probably be close to even money. Croatia, I assume we would be underdogs. And Switzerland would be a heavy favorite. Yeah, Vuskovic. But there's some even younger ones, like a couple of 16-year-olds. I know Vuskovic is like 18, but I was there's some scout on Twitter. I was reading what he was writing about their next generation. It looks pretty good. That's a yellow card. Casey, what have you thought of Sebastian Berhalter? I don't know if you've been watching this tournament, but I'm interested to hear what you think. Because like you've usually got a good hot take about something, but I've been kind of mixed on him. Obviously, the missed penalty. I'm not weighing anything on any of these penalties really too much. I don't care about penalty kicks. It's irrelevant. Total crapshoot. I mean, Matt Freese saved 3 out of 6 penalties. We have another penalty kick tonight. He's not going to save 3 out of 6. Might be a good penalty saver, but it's a total crapshoot. Yeah, that's in the group stages. None of those teams are getting out of the group stages, though, Adam. It's also, this is an expanded World Cup, right? So, totally different. Why are you surprised, Jonathan, honestly? Brendan Aronson hasn't played a good match for the United States in about 2.5 years. And Paxton's just still pretty raw. Like, I think Paxton has had good moments in the Eredivisie over the last couple of years, but he's still a very raw player. And I'm not sure exactly how he fits in here, because to me, he's more of a wide player, but I don't know that Pochettino sees it that way. Yeah, McGlynn to me is a lot more interesting than Berhalter, just because, I mean, I don't know if you saw the Turkey game, but he's got an unbelievable ability to score goals from crazy areas. Anytime Luna gets wide, we lose the ball. You'd think we'd learn this. Play the ball into Tillman, De La Torre. Here we go. Luca De La Torre on the wing. Let's see how quickly he loses the ball. I mean, I said that before, long before that ball was coming off his foot and going out of play. Luca De La Torre does not fit into this system. The left player in the pivot, this player in the pivot, needs to be a ball carrier creator. He's not that. He's just not that. It's crazy that he continuously gets the opportunity. It's crazy. They didn't increase their level, Jenny Taft. We just shied away from any responsibility in midfield. It's ridiculous. I don't see, as of right now, Gio Reyna is not in my World Cup squad, T. Riddler. Gio Reyna needs to go play the sport somewhere. He has not played in 2 years. Let's watch him play before we even discuss the opportunity of him being in a World Cup squad. Right now, Gio Reyna is not in my World Cup squad. And Luna won't be this. This is going to be Pulisic. You have to remember that this is not a 10. This is your left wing playing in that left half space. That's all just nonsense. The whole Pulisic thing. Why shouldn't Pulisic rest for this Gold Cup? This isn't like playing like even the Nations League final. The Gold Cup is an absolute joke of a competition What kind of, first of all, Landon Donovan's a salty, salty man. I have no idea what anybody did to Landon Donovan to make him so salty, but he is so salty about everything. Clint Dempsey's a hothead. He's always been a hothead. Why would we make Pulisic, Anthony Robinson, our best players, come play in this competition against Guatemala when they've been playing every single week for 2 years? Rest up, get ready for the club season, and get ready for the World Cup. I don't want to see them. I'd much rather see these players who we may need to play a role because some of the players that we think are so good are not necessarily as good as we think they are. So I'd much rather see some of these players. It's the stupidest drama. I can't get over that drama. That was the dumbest thing. Also, like, it came off the back of, like, the U.S. playing a good match against Turkey and winning, and then all we're talking about is Pulisic not being with the team. Like, let's talk about a 20-year-old Alex Freeman going up against Arda Güler and Kenneth Yildiz and having a great match in his men's national team debut. Like, let's highlight some positives over the next year so that fans want to go watch the World Cup and support us. Because right now in St. Louis, there's 2 times as many Guatemala fans as U.S. fans at a semifinal match. I mean, it's an absolute joke, and it starts from the top. We've been saying this forever. It starts from the top. The U.S. Soccer Federation and the old players need to rally around the team rather than be salty and called out that they're calling this the golden generation. Don't be mad that Weston McKennie is better than Jermaine Jones. It's okay that that's the truth. It's such, like, only child syndrome. I mean, it's embarrassing how many more Guatemala fans there are than U.S. fans at this game, or at least it sounds and feels like it from a viewer on TV. Exactly. Clint Dempsey scored 50 in the Premier League, mostly for Fulham. Would I be there if it was at MetLife? Well, I'm not a good example because I'm doing this. But against Guatemala, no, I probably wouldn't go. But also, like, living in New York City versus living in St. Louis, like, there's just a lot more to do here. Like, I have a busier life than I would have if I lived in St. Louis. Like, that's of no discredit to anywhere else. But, like, I think that that's just a common fact with soccer in this country and its failure at some of the bigger stadiums. But I did go to MetLife to see Argentina play last summer. Like, if I'm not streaming a game, I would go. I think they're salty because they don't understand why this is called the golden generation when they haven't achieved that much, which is this very, like, childish thing to do. Instead, they should be rallying around the fact that this is a very talented team. Christian Pulisic has had back-to-back unbelievable seasons at AC Milan. Like, AC Milan, that's one of the biggest clubs in the history of the sport. Like, that's an amazing feat that he's had. Why are we getting upset with him? So silly. Luca Della Torre needs to get off the pitch immediately. Put Johnny Cardoso on. I mean, this is crazy. Why is Luca Della Torre still playing? I don't understand. Like, what does Luca Della Torre have? Stick drift. Yeah, Diego Luna, when he gets wide, Noah, does not know what to do. It's crazy. Like, the difference in him when he receives the ball here versus here is like 2 different players. When he receives here, it's like when you see the best of Raheem Sterling. Look how deep our line is getting. It's Guatemala. Why do we get so deep? I mean, Della Torre is just, you can just feel a second yellow coming. I was just saying, Casey, right now Gio Reyna is not in the U.S. men's national team squad for the World Cup. I can't imagine how he would be. Who is Brendan Aronson coming in for? Yeah, I'm at 56, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Is that helpful? Yeah, Gio Reyna right now is not in the World Cup squad. I think he should try and push a move to PSV take Malik Tillman's spot at PSV, play with a team that's one of the best in that country, a developmental league. He can play in the Champions League, get lots of minutes, play around other good quality players. That, to me, makes sense. I don't understand how you could have Gio Reyna in your squad right now, especially with the way Luna's playing. Right now, Luna is kind of the backup 10, right? If you're calling Tillman our 10, Luna's your backup 10. Right now, I don't see how Gio Reyna's in the squad. I also think, like, we've overrated Gio Reyna a lot. Like, let's just, like, think about Gio Reyna's career. I think we've just overrated the player by talking about him so much. Brendan Aronson is on for Luca De La Torre. That means to me that you're probably going to see Tillman drop deeper. No. We're going to go to a flat 4 in the buildup. This is a utterly confusing match from Pochettino for me. I'm interested to see how this is going to work in possession. I don't know if PSV want Gio, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of what makes sense to me, like, that's the kind of move you should be pushing for. Stop trying to go to the Premier League. Like, go somewhere you're going to guaranteed get a chance to play, because you're not making the World Cup if you don't play. 100%, Casey, 100%. I think that's why Tanner Tessman didn't make it into this squad, to be honest. I think Pochettino wasn't impressed with him in either of the last camps. He had a very up-and-down season. Same with Busio. Like, I think Pochettino really likes Busio as a player, but another player who just, like, kind of got too comfortable. I think that's why he likes Adjumang a lot. He likes Berhalter a lot. Yeah, it looks like Tillman has dropped into this role a little bit deeper. And Aronson's popping up here. Yeah, it's Tillman deeper. But it's really not, is the scary thing. It's like this is what it's become. I'm not sure I really understand why we would do this. We've completely gotten away from how we're playing in the first 4 matches. Flabbergasted. Why Brendan Aronson? Why not Johnny Cardoso? You need more control. Why not Johnny Cardoso? Adjumang just so slow to make any decision whatsoever. Can you not see Aronson? Oh, B, yeah. I forgot about his brother. I totally forgot about his brother. I just can't comprehend Brendan Aronson's involvement at any point anymore. It makes little to no sense to me whatsoever. Like, and then we're dropping into this. I can't possibly understand why we're doing that. Malik Tillman's so good. He's got Luna. Brendan Aronson, horrible first touch. Just a horrible first touch for Brendan Aronson. Alex Freeman is so good when he gets high and wide. It's this area of the pitch that he struggles in, but when he gets up here, he's very strong. It's kind of how we're playing right now. This is basically what it looks like right now. It's very fluid, which I'm not a fan of, to be honest. I think we struggle when we get this fluid. Thank you, Mitchell. Yeah, he scored against Trinidad when we were up 4-0. I'm telling you, Alex Freeman is a serious player. Casey, you know Alex Freeman is Antonio Freeman's son, I assume. Man, Tyler Adams is getting lucky to not get a second yellow there. Very lucky not to get a second yellow there. Oh, yeah. You know Antonio Freeman, the Packers wide receiver, Brett Favre's favorite target? His son, Alex Freeman, is our right back. Different kind of Nepo baby, but yes. Yeah. Oh, offside. We've kind of gone into a diamond here, which is interesting. Yeah, Casey, doesn't need to be your last question. Fire away. Right now, Matt Freese is the goalkeeper. That could change tomorrow, but right now, Matt Freese is the goalkeeper. It's not Matt Turner. Matt Turner just made a transfer to Lyon, who got relegated to League 2. I think that answers that. I'm not saying Matt Freese will be the World Cup goalie, but he is currently the number one goalkeeper. Wow, Tillman draws so many fouls, man. Yeah, I guess, but I can't imagine that he's the number one keeper unless Freese has a terrible year in the MLS. I mean, Freese has been really solid in this tournament, and Matt Turner, the last few times he's played, has been pretty bad, like genuinely bad. Like, not just like mediocre, like he's been actually not good. Dude. I don't know what's worse about this. Brendan Aronson waiting so long to play this ball, the ball being way too heavy, or Adjaman still not figuring out how to score from there. What was the worst part of that? Genuinely what? I don't know. What was the worst part of that? Maybe the miss? The first miss, the second miss. Which one was worse? The well overhit ball or waiting too long to play the ball? The first miss, that's the worst part. I mean, those are 4 horrible actions by 2 terrible players. That's the thing about Brendan Aronson, though. If you watched, I don't even know if it was on a video or maybe it was on one of my TikToks. Like, he's very coachable, and that's why everywhere he goes, he plays. Like, every stint at Leeds, Union Berlin, Salzburg, everywhere he's played, everywhere he goes, he plays because he's super coachable. He can play wide. He can play through the middle. He's very adaptable, a lot of technical empathy, but the actions themselves are so mediocre. So I guess that's why we see him for the U.S. so much, but it's just so frustrating to watch. I just can't understand it. Now we've dropped into this a little bit more. I mean, I really cannot comprehend. Basically, this right back position is just totally fluid. Arfson's kind of hanging down here. One of these 2 guys is popping out here. You're basically in a 4-1-4-1. And then these guys are, Tillman will show a little bit. Aronson will show a little bit. Just totally got away from what we were doing. Sargent is definitely better than Adjamang, but just, I don't know why Sargent. That was actually a nice run by Adjamang. If you give him space, he can run with the ball, but once you face him up, he can't do anything. 3 gave him way too much space there. Yeah, the speed and strength, there's no doubt. But once the defender faces him up, he's got nothing. These two guys are basically rotating. Be nice to get a third goal because this, Guatemala get a goal and this just becomes the nerviest last 20 minutes. Oh my God, Tillman. Yeah, Noah, it's really all there is to it. That's why he scores so much in the MLS. If you watch any of his goals in the MLS, that's pretty much what it looks like. He ends up in a easy 1v1. Yeah, you'd like to see Damian Downs. I have to say though, I think when Damian Downs comes on, sometimes that doesn't mean Ajimon comes off because we see that two striker where he sits in underneath here. I think they may take Luna off and go Tillman wide, and that would be that's my guess for when Damian Downs comes on. Pochettino likes Ajimon. He likes his physicality. I don't know what else to tell you. Totally weird match for Max Arfston. Why not play John Tolkien if this is what you're going to ask the left back to do? It just doesn't make any sense. You're not utilizing players in their best positions. I know we're winning 2-0, but to me, this is the worst game we've played in this tournament. You score in the 3rd minute off of a horrible goalkeeping mistake. You score in the 14th minute off of a moment of brilliance by one player. And the rest of the match, you've been the worst team by far. I mean, what is Diego Luna doing receiving the ball down here? Like, what does that do for anybody? Yeah, the Gold Cup, I believe, has 1 or 2 teams from the... It's not Asia. Maybe it's all of Asia. Like last tournament, I want to say we played Qatar. Somebody can correct me. Or Iran. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's 1 or 2 teams from the Asian division can qualify for the Gold Cup. There's some sort of crossover there. Might be one of the reasons why Aramco sponsors this competition. Oh, you know how Iran, sorry. Turkey A, Iran, sorry. Thank you, Casey. I don't know. You know how these things go, Noah. The oil money gets involved. That's the only way any of this stuff ends up happening. Yeah, Wara tournament is right. It's an absolute clown show of a tournament. Can we get Johnny Cardoso on for Berhalter? Just a thought. Water break. Water break. Everyone get some water. All right. I mean, I guess it's not the worst position to be in, but let's look at some stats here. I mean, we only have 53% of possession. They've almost scored the same amount of XG as we have. More shots than us. They've got 2 big chances missed. I mean, we're pretty much playing them even. I know we've scored twice, but we're pretty much playing them even. No, Jonathan, this Brendan Aronson sub is maybe the worst piece of coaching that Pochettino has done this entire tournament. He should have brought on McGlynn. Well, first of all, he should have... Is Johnny not with the team today? Okay. Well, that would explain that. We beat Brazil in a Gold Cup. I have no recollection of that, but that sounds about right. I mean, I don't think we're going to make another sub, to be honest. Maybe Damian Downs. Oh, he's still dealing with that ankle injury, Johnny. I didn't realize that. I thought they had said he was going to be in the squad today. Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, like Mitchell, the goals we scored, big goalkeeping mistake by Guatemala. score a goal in the 3rd minute. Diego Luna, moment of individual brilliance. I mean, that's how you sometimes win when you don't play well. Yeah, they've missed 2 big chances. This could easily be tied. Could easily be tied. Wow, Tillman, that's just so strong. Now, Cardoso is still dealing with that ankle injury. I just thought they said he was going to be fit for this match. He is moving to Atletico, though, and somehow Tottenham's getting a percentage of the sale. Who's F9X? I don't know who that is. Oh, Fox. You just missed the 0. My bad. Yeah. I mean, fresh legs make sense. Get Downs on there to run into the channels, right? Like, the best thing we've seen Downs do is get into these channels between the outside back and the center back, allowing the double 10s to get through the middle and get into space. I'm bringing on Damian Downs as soon as possible. Luna is exhausted, offering nothing. Ajimon can't run. Mitchell, he will. There's no way he won't. You can't deny his ability. He's now done it at Rangers, PSV, and Leverkusen. Each of them being a top 3 biggest club in their country playing in European football. He is going to be a starter at the World Cup. Tillman to Leverkusen's incredible. I know Javi Alonso left, but I'm assuming they're going to keep some of the same ideology. The way that they play, he's going to fit right into their double 10s. They love a player in that position. Yeah, I'd like to see McGlynn come in for Berhalter for sure. I mean, Ten Hag loves a double 10 as well, if you recall. I mean, Bruno Fernandes did supremely well in that role. Think about Van de Beek, how good he was for Ajax in that role. Like, the way that they're going to play is going to be perfect for Malik Tillman. And that league specifically is a great place for him. It's made for physical, powerhouse, ball-running players like him. Best possible move. I totally agree, Casey. Perfect step up for him. Couple of years there, and then maybe he goes to Bayern or comes to the Premier League. Yeah, Mainu too. Ajuman can't move anymore. Look at him. He's laboring. Can we put Damian Downs in? Guy scores the glory penalty, and he can't get a minute in the next game. Absolutely insanity. If Brian White comes in, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm just letting you know that. I'd probably shut the stream down and maybe the channel as a whole. Talk about a player who absolutely... There have been many players in this run who absolutely should never see the field again for us. Brian White is number 1 on that list. Brendan Aronson is number 2 on that list. In my personal opinion. I mean, Brian White is horrendous. He's one of the worst players I've ever watched play, to be completely honest. I don't know. The amount of goals he scored in the MLS really speaks to how bad that league still is. Like, you can score goals and be so, so bad. Tolkien, I like coming on for Arsenal. That makes sense to me. Now you have one substitution, and McGlynn's coming on as well. I would assume that that's going to be... I bet you that's for Luna, to be honest. You think it's for Luna or Berhalter? Should be for Berhalter, but it's probably for Luna. Looks like it's for Luna. So Aronson comes out wide, probably? Is that what we think happens? Do we think Aronson comes out wide, probably, and then McGlynn slots in here? Right? It's Tyler Adams. So Okay. So this is Arfston. Arfston's going to play high and wide. That's totally bizarre. I mean, I guess that's fine, like a little bit more defensive shape. But, yeah, I'd like to see Damian Downs now at some point come on for Ajimong, probably in the next 3 to 5 minutes. Tolkien's playing above Arfston. That's awesome, man. That's totally awesome. I mean, you'd have to assume he's saying to Pochettino, I should be, wow. Arfston is playing deeper than Tolkien. Can somebody explain that to me? Who has a good reason for that? Like, is Pochettino just said to Arfston today, I'm going to make you defend? Like, that's the only thing I can think of. Because he's been asked to play in such a defensive role, even in possession, all match. It makes no sense to me. I mean, Reem has been really solid. Arfston, I mean, Ajimong can't even run anymore. Lee Gunner actually said that, Adam? Or you're just trolling? Because I'll lose my mind. I'll lose my mind if Lee Gunner actually said that. This feels like a goal right here. This feels like a goal. God damn it. Those defensive substitutions made... Why would you take Tyler Adams out? You have Berhalter playing as a solo pivot, a solo 6. Why would you take Tyler Adams out? Now you have no defensive midfield options left. Cardoso's not in the side. I just cannot understand why you would take Tyler Adams out. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This has been the most confusing coaching I've ever seen. I mean, this has been Pochettino's history. Everywhere he's gone, he just doesn't make the right decisions. You have Berhalter and Aronson trying to chase down a player in between the lines. They have no idea where to be. John Tolkien, who's a left back, is playing at left wing, caught in the middle of nowhere. These are the absolutely most absurd defensive and coaching decisions I have ever seen. Look where John Tolkien is right now. John Tolkien is the third highest up on the pitch for the U.S. men's national team right now. We don't deserve to win this match. We've been completely outplayed since the 20th minute. Completely outplayed. That's a foul. You got to love Stu Holden blaming it on making subs at all as if that's why. No, it's the type of sub that he made. That's a foul and a yellow card. Pulling the jersey on a half-turn. I mean, Malik Tillman is just such different gravy, man. He is so good. Get the ball onto his feet and good things happen. Good things happen. Jack McGlynn is going to put in a beauty here. Come on, Jack. I This is what happens when you put on Brendan Aronson. This is what you deserve. You actually deserve pain when you put on Brendan Aronson. Canada didn't have a shot on target. You got to get up, Alex Freeman. Don't play the ball back into the middle of the park. Play it long and deep into the corners. Your team is trying to get back. Has anyone ever been in a lead in a match ever that's on the pitch for the U.S. right now? Anybody? Has anyone ever played in a match where you have the lead? We're teetering on disaster. We are teetering on disaster. Oh, good. Walker Zimmerman's coming on. Perfect. That is the ideal third sub. How about you get Damian Downs on for Ajimang, someone who can actually go run after a long ball if we're going to keep playing long? I don't understand why he won't put Downs on for Ajimang. I just don't understand. All right, Downs is coming on. Thank God. Thank God. Who is Zimmerman coming on for? My guess is probably it's either Tillman or Berhalter. No, Zimmerman's going to come in and they're going to go three at the back. Ream will come in the dead center here. Or Richards, rather. It's going to be this. And then whoever I think he's going to come on for Berhalter. Are we going to make this sub? It'd be nice to get Downs on for this goal kick. Can we make this sub now? Got to be for Berhalter. Oh, Arfston. So we're not even going to go 5 at the back. Oh, we are going to go 5 at the back. I mean, I would probably do this, but he loves Brendan in the middle, but I would do this. Yeah, Tolkien's dropping to left back. Crazy how long he waited to put in Damian Downs, T. Riddler. Absolutely insane. Why is Zimmerman the center back? I guess because he can't defend wide 1v1s, but ideally nobody should be defending any sort of wide 1v1s at any point. There should be 5 flat at the back, and it should be a line of 4 in front of them, but it's not going to be. Yeah, I mean, this is the worst match we've played in this tournament. It's crazy. It's far and away the worst match we've played in this tournament. I will be breaking it down more so than I did on the live stream in the post-match, so make sure to catch that when that goes live tonight. But just miserable. Just miserable performance. I mean, this is what happens also when it basically feels like you're playing an away match. But it's good. You put a little pressure on him. Still chase Downs. You got to chase, man. I feel that I've been the most positive of anybody on this platform during this Gold Cup run. From the comments I've received, from the other videos I've watched. But I'm going to have a hard time being positive after this match, win or lose. I truly am going to have a hard time being positive. This is really discouraging, this performance. Highly discouraging. I mean, the only positive has been Diego Luna's able to get on the ball a little bit more in the first 20 minutes. I didn't think anyone else played a good match. I thought Richards and Ream were fine, but they weren't put in positions to succeed. I thought Freeze was fine. Yeah, I'm usually very optimistic, but I'm going to not be optimistic at this performance. And I'm not going to be able to watch the match after this, but I can't imagine I'll feel good going into the next one, assuming we close this out in the final 2 plus stoppage time. Yes. I'm surprised he's getting so much looking over McKenzie. It's not my favorite thing in the world, for sure. Tolkien, you could have just controlled that, bro. That was right at your chest. Well done. That's not a foul, man. This CONCACAF dudes just run to the ground. Tillman's like laughing. Like, that was literally insane. Very well done by Alex Freeman. Very well done by Alex Freeman. Where's the Alex Freeman hater in the chat? He's been very good today. Very, very good today. Especially playing on that right side where that piece of the pitch is completely different and making the ball bobble. I think he's been very solid. It can't be more than 4 minutes. There hasn't been a stoppage in this entire half. There was the water break. That's 2 minutes. Shouldn't be more than 4, maybe 5. This is why you needed to put downs on way earlier. Wasting 30, 40 seconds trying to get the ball forward versus when Ajamang was still out there, they were just pushing the ball right up the pitch. Well done by Tolkien to get ahead on that. That was weirdly bouncing. I could have easily gone over his head to the other guy. I don't know. I mean, probably Scally as of right now. I'd like to see how Freeman does over the next year. Sometimes you get these players who are in a hot little bit of form. They first break into just professional football in general. So I'm not going to say right now I'm taking Freeman over Scally, but I've been very impressed by Alex Freeman. And Scally's played a lot of minutes. Walker Zimmerman is giving Rob Holding vibes for that Arsenal season when he used to come in for 5 at the back. Really is. Very niche, but I know there's some people in the chat who will get that. At least Noah and Adam will. 4 minutes, as I said. 4 minutes, as I said. You can't play the ball directly out of play. Like, that's such a bad mistake. You can't play the ball directly out of play. No, the season after that, Adam. The one where he winked after scoring against Man City down 3-0. Rob Holding has an England cap? That can't be true. I don't believe you. There's no way Rob Holding has a cap for England. That is false. Oh, boy. Oh, good save, Matt Freeze. Good save. Really good save. That's crazy that Rob Holding has an England cap. That's absolutely insane. A little early for the goalkeeper to come up. This reeks of a Damian Downs goal going the other way. That's a good... Yes, well closed down by Berhalter. Okay, yeah. Thank you. I knew Rob Holding did not have an England cap. I would have... That would have been shocking news. Really good save by Matt Freese. This is maybe just missing, but a really good save nonetheless. I'd like to hear what Pochettino has to say after this match, because there's no way this is what he was instructing them to do in either half. Find that hard to believe. Matt Freese really almost just got a second yellow card. That's insane. Hope he learned his lesson. He gets away with one there. Just get out. Out of play. Out. Out. Yeah, Turner will definitely be in the squad. I mean, just to have the experience. There'll be no doubt. Oh, Tillman. How good is that, Malik Tillman? How good is that for Malik Tillman? Unbelievable. I mean, that's just so good. In 94 minutes of nonstop sprinting up the pitch, up and down the pitch, getting into the spaces, winning the ball back, onto the ground, still has a little bit left in him to put this game away. So, so good for Malik Tillman. Those are the little things that are the difference between a good player and a level raiser. And that's why Malik Tillman is so crucial. Like, those are the little things you pick up from playing at Rangers and PSV in your youth career rather than sitting on the bench at Dortmund or playing in the MLS until you're 25. Like, Malik Tillman deserves all the credit in the world for the way he's handled his career. He's handled his career like a kid who played in a European academy, which he did at Bayern Munich, and before that, an even smaller academy in Germany. Really, really smart player. This has got to be it. Whistle should go right now on the play. Blow the whistle. 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 Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Into the final, baby. U.S. men's national team into the final. A terrible display against Guatemala, but 2 Diego Luna goals. Enough to get it done. 2 early goals, and then a very poor 75 minutes after that. Thank you all for hanging out in the chat. Appreciate it. Make sure to catch the post-game reaction, which will be going live within the hour from right now. Going to hit record on it the second I close this down. We'll be back for the final. 7 p.m. Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time Sunday. I will be live for the final. Mitchell, yes, be here. We'll be celebrating, hopefully, a Gold Cup trophy, Pochettino's first trophy, and hopefully a much better performance than this one. I assume it will be Mexico, but we will definitely be live for that. So we will see you all then, and go U.S. Happy July 4th to all of y'all.